Let's do a little bit more deep dive into non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is neat to understand it a little bit more in detail. I have spoken about NEAT last time, but why is it important? Because this makes a big difference between people who are sedentary and people who are non-sedentary. Because exercise is only done for a short time, for maybe half an hour, 1 hour, or 1.5 hours, but the rest is all activity. So we talked about the importance of being active for those people who are sedentary and doing more sedentary jobs. So we talked the concept of non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So to understand this better, I could say that movement is medicine. Movement is medicine. That means it's like medicine. It acts like very therapeutic way to help our body to make new mitochondria. So those people who keep moving all the time are the people who make a difference in terms of their energy metabolism. So how much energy do you spend if you have a basal energy metabolic rate that everybody has in terms of, let's say we shared that's about close to 60%. There's a small variation on people who are sedentary versus non-sedentary with 1 or 2% difference, and that is called as basal metabolic rate. That is the energy expenditure with just being sitting and our heart beating, lungs breathing, our rest of the organs functioning for their activity. On top of it, the other activity that goes on is, I will mark it with a different color, that is what is called as thermic energy, that is liberated when we go through eating food, digesting it and metabolizing it. That's also called diet induced thermogenesis, DIT, diet induced thermogenesis, or thermic effect of feeding. They are the same. So this is only about let's say 10%. This is about 60%. So the rest that you have, the energy process, which is 40%, is about 40%, and in that mostly the majority of the time this is all the activity that we are talking about. So about 30% or so, or 25% depending on the person, is what is called as NEAT that we talked about. That means activities of daily life. You are moving, you are taking a shower, you are getting up, doing things in your kitchen, going to the office, parking away in the parking lot at further distances, taking stairs instead of elevators. So everything comes as activities of daily life. That is about 30%, and exercise is only about 10% if you regularly exercise. So both these put together will make your activity, and that includes exercise, but the majority of the part in the day, which most of the time your movement, that's why I called movement is medicine. You can maximize this part, which is highly variable in people. So this is the one that is most variable in most of the people, that makes the biggest difference for energy expenditure. So this part is what is the need that we have to make more. So this is the reason why, like, when I talked about how you can stand up instead of sitting, how you can take breaks while working in a sedentary job, and then how we can do those small sitting in the chair and standing up or wall push-ups that I told you. But you can also do things like just standing instead of sitting at work, or do like fidgeting, like involuntarily moving, constantly being almost kind of restless, or even contracting our muscles when you're standing, and then maintaining a posture. All this spends energy, and everything comes under non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is liberating heat and generating heat and making our metabolism more for energy expenditure. So non-exercise activity thermogenesis and exercise make about 40%, and they play a big role for us to be active and create that new mitochondria, which is very important. We're going to go back to talking more about mitochondria, because everything, every chronic medical disease or every problem first starts in the mitochondria, which is the source of energy. If that starts having problems, and when you start getting dysfunction and then disease, that's where the problem starts. So we need to start focusing on the mitochondria when we come back and talk more next about mitochondrial disease. That's where we are going to go back to in terms of fructose, how fat gets accumulated, and how the problem goes into liver and every other part into the heart, and all diseases start. I'll see you very soon. Thank you.